What's up, everybody? This is Tasteless. I'm over here on my Twitch channel right now. If you're watching this, you're most likely on my YouTube. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be my first playthrough of ZeroSpace. This is one of the advantages about being Tasteless. You get early access to a game like this. I don't know how to play it. I don't know that much about the races, and I would say that I'm not that great at just like picking up an RTS. So this is going to be a lot of fun. If you want to support this project, go to their Kickstarter. ZeroSpace on Kickstarter, and there are tiers if you want to get access into the I believe it's the early alpha or early beta, but what you know what I'm trying to say. If you want to try this out, this is being made by StarCraft legends like Scarlet Pig, CatZ, and others, and it looks really good. And of course, if you're watching this and you're on my YouTube, please subscribe, bell notification, I don't know, leave a comment. What do you think about ZeroSpace? All that YouTube stuff. As we try to figure this game out. It's pretty far along. It already looks very good. So we got to pick a hero, build a depot, W. So this is in like pre-alpha, guys.
Take a break.
It looks like the worker works like a probe, at least for this tutorial. The controls do feel very smooth. This is my hero unit. By the way, this is not a sponsored playthrough, just to be clear. We got a depot up. Let's build a barracks. Barracks is under advanced.
I can build.
A.
Can you come
Got it.
Building complete.
All right, so we got a barracks coming. What is this? A mercenary outpost? Okay. Do we find the Protoss? At least in this case, chat, this race does make, buildings like probes.
Unit production complete. Production is now idle.
I hear your pig.
You got orders.
All right, so how do I make a Is this what mines? The operating tower?
Commander.
Okay, so those must be the mineral patches.
Infantry reporting.
Build a harvester in the HQ to mine flux. Is this my HQ?
Unit
Harvester.
production complete.
Is this
Production
flux?
is now idle.
Looks kind of like my Vespian gas. You have a charge of Merc now? Okay, thank you.
Target sight. Come on, pig. If I hear your pig. Right.
Probably overkill by me. I've got a charge of Mercs. So how do I do this? Oh, I see. Okay.
Our units are under attack.
Oh, there we go. They're just right out there.
Instruction. Target sight.
On the way. Captured.
No melee units? Well, there might be melee units. I don't know if this race has them.
We're on it, sir.
Enemy
make-
sighted.
Toasted Grell.
Building
The
complete.
Protectorate. Come on, pig.
Oh, lordy.
Yeah. Orders.
Is this the computer?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I hear your pig. We're
Reinforcement ready.
on it. Toasted Grell. Come on.
Oh, are these shields it has? The yellow stuff?
For the Protectorate.
Building complete.
Target sight. Commando waiting.
Okay.
Right.
So, CatZ, what is this? What does this tower do exactly?
Production is now idle. Not enough supply.
You got orders.
Target.
Gives me XP. Okay, and what does XP do? Does that let me level up this? Oh, no, anybody can level up, right? Is that correct? Oh, I see. Okay, improved recall. Recall costs no energy, minus 25 cooldown, and units are healed after recall to 250
Building
health.
complete.
Vehicles move % faster, affects Avengers, Strikers, Disruptors, Juggernauts, and various mercenary units. All right, let's try that one. Energy bar rebuff. It's easy enough for me to understand. So if I hit Control W, what happens here? Ooh! I gotta do it back here, though? Ooh! Control Q. Okay, so this is something I'm not used to, is this little tab up here at the top. Control Q, what does this do?
Orders, sir.
I'm back.
We're on it, sir.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I messed that up when I did that. Got it. Let's make another depot. How many harvesters can we have on this thing? One per purple? Okay, so then this one's going to have to go over here.
Yeah.
Do I want to get as many of these towers as possible? There's
Unit
only 3 of them
production
here, right?
complete. Production is now.
I can destroy this too? Okay. Dustin Browder's wiggling around in his dreams right now. Gonna kill those rocks. His little toes are wiggling while he sleeps, while this game's being played. What's this stuff? Is the doodad? All right, we have more mercenaries. X, Z, and we can recall these with.
I hear your pen.
Commander.
Let me make sure I understand this. What is this?
Come on, pen. Make a decision.
Control Q.
Send a scavenger to collect it.
Does that recall him to my hero? No. No, it does not do that. All right.
Here's the box.
Okay. Sorry, I'm still learning the game, guys.
I'm busy.
It might recall, but to where? Let's make some other buildings. Factory S.
Destination set.
So is this? I destroy this, and there's a base under here. I take it.
No problem.
Tech buildings, research lab. Let's make one of those. I don't know the hotkeys yet. It does look like the hotkeys. What is it? QWEASD. Okay, so it's all the layout for like a numpad almost on the left side. Yeah, my camera's going out here. Hold on a sec. I'm just going to turn off my camera. You guys don't need to see this.
Complete. Building
This is.
Gonna take a break.
You can look at more of the game.
All tower captured.
Unit production complete.
We can upgrade the
Not
HQ.
enough supply. Our units are under attack.
Where's my resources? Oh, it's at the bottom. Got it.
Building complete.
We've lost control of the tower.
You got orders.
Whole tower.
Whoops. So this is like a permanent buff. Is there some kind of a siege weapon back here?
Yeah.
Building upgraded.
Yeah. The protectorate.
Enemy sighted.
Commando awaiting instruction.
Unit production complete.
Come on, pen.
Production is
I
now
hear your pen. Posted ground. We're on it.
All right.
Oh, this can load troops in?
Let's
What?
Go, let's go.
So how does that work? How buff is this thing? Oh, you. Huh, I wonder how that can be used.
Waypoint set.
reinforcement ready.
The protectorate.
Surely.
Orders, sir. Commando awaiting instruction.
I thought that one. You pierced my mind.
Press my abilities? You're right, I gotta use my abilities. I'm still getting the hang of this.
Man. Let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, he can hop. Oh, they're like little reapers.
Target sight.
We await.
I hear your pen.
Just
Making threats. On my way.
Target sight. Come on, pen. Make a decision.
Whoa!
For the protectorate.
Avenging the
Did they like trap it there?
Lost in time.
Rolling out.
Yeah. Orders, sir.
Dude, this guy has so much of the map.
We're on it, sir.
I've got 5,000 minerals.
Posted ground. Commando awaiting.
Ah, it's a stun. Okay, got it.
Right.
Reinforcement ready.
Orders, sir.
Okay.
I hear your pin.
So it'll actually default those back onto Control 1.
Yeah. Target sight.
On the way.
Toasting.
Whoa, 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 whoa. No!
Avengers receiving.
Okay, let me leave this game.
Are mysterious.
C. Ooh. X. What does this one do? Quickly burrow to any visible location and on biomass.
Plant is fully formed.
Alright, I'll mess with that in a second. C.
Atmospheric reentry
Consume 200 health from a friendly unit. Okay, so it's like Devour from the Defiler.
Scrap to collect, Commander.
Got it.
I'm a bit hungry.
Nourishing pod.
Right on it, boss.
Plant is fully formed.
I can build stuff.
Excuse me. So are these like drones that they turn into the building?
Drop supply has arrived. Transferring.
Or does he come back out?
No problem.
Plant is fully formed.
Got it. Okay, so this is kind of the Zergy one. Constructs Grilling, Harbinger, and Weaver.
Alrighty.
All right, let's make a... Oh, I'm so not used to the fact that I don't have to hit, like, build or advanced. That's so funny. That's so ingrained in me. All right, we need a few more minerals for that.
I hear you.
Unit production complete. Production is now idle.
What's this guy do? Cast on target area after 2 seconds. A cloud of acid will damage the
We
area.
are linked.
All right, tell you what. Let me restart
Enemy sighted.
and just try this again. Nourishing pod. Boom.
You got orders.
Can I make him help make it? No. All right, and then we make a harvester. What is that? That's 200. So we're about to have enough money for that.
Alrighty.
Can I make these guys do anything, cats? Like when the game
Plant is
when there's
fully
You're the
formed.
boss.
nothing else to build? I can queue buildings?
Build
Okay.
stuff.
I'll send him down there. Scout. Okay, got
You
it.
come back later. Sigh.
These are bugs that also have southern accents.
Plant is fully formed.
I assume that's a fill-in.
Unit production
For the
complete.
Protectorate.
These are Louisiana bugs, man.
Right on it, boss.
This is what I imagine when I think of LZ Gamer, his entire family.
Infantry reporting.
All right, let's get a root colony up here.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Boom.
Gonna take a break, sir. Yeah. You're the boss.
Okay. Keep giving me the build. What else is the build? Control W on a bug. All right,
I'm a
bug.
bit hungry.
Control W. Ooh. Nourishing pod. Make more units. Q.
Commander.
Rally him here.
we're
Shit, I didn't get a
detecting
hero.
hits on an impact.
We
Oh,
are
I'm so bad.
Limit. Tracking locations on your map now.
Oh, Control W, then click bug.
Sigh.
What? Control. Wait, what?
Plant is fully formed.
Unit production.
Oh, I'm doing Shift
complete.
W. Control W.
Production is now idle.
Oh, he's
You come
morphing.
back later.
All right, easy chat. I know you guys are all pro gamers of
I'm
this.
busy. You got orders.
He's flying. Look at him go.
Rise my spawn.
Scrap transfer initiated.
Right on it, boss.
Plant has
I can
fully
build stuff.
formed. You pierce my mind.
Real character.
Okay, so
I hear you.
what next? More of these.
Reawaken.
Enemy in range.
Courage.
Let's go push up here. Oh!
Your motives are mysterious. Plant has fully formed. Our
Okay.
thoughts are one.
Arm gun. Drill Mucker. Tar.
All right.
Understood, Commander.
I gotta start hockeying these.
Essence infusion ready.
Plant has fully formed.
Morning Crocus.
Your motives are mysterious.
All right, Control W. These guys do. All right, hold on.
On the episode.
Bet you made Grant Games voice these guys, huh?
Reawaken.
Just right when he gets out of bed in the morning.
Production complete. Production is now idle.
All right, I forgot to even do this stuff here.
Plant has fully formed.
Let's go, let's go.
I
Drop
hear
supply has
you.
arrived.
All right.
We are
Essence
Right,
infusion
nice
ready.
Okay, so you can just level up these guys.
Commando waiting instruction.
Right,
Oh
my
man, I thought this was
spawn
rallied on
has
here. All right,
fully
let's rally this to the hero. And then, Cats, do I
formed.
want to try to
Our
stay
thoughts are
here?
one.
Infantry reporting. No problem.
Capture
We
the.
are
Do I need to leave him here? Oh, so I don't have to be at the tower to get the resources from it, right? Okay. Okay, so it's already coming in. I thought I had to like sit there.
Your motives
Enemy
are
sighted.
mysterious.
Got it.
Courage. Arm gun.
I hear Plant has fully formed. Reawaken. Your motives are mysterious. Our thoughts are one. We are linked. You pierce my mind.
Real character.
So this will consume. So if I eat this, it's more HP.
Connection
I can only do it with bio units though.
severed.
I hear you.
On the episode.
And then I'm going to do Control W, right? Boop, boop, boop.
Rise my spawn.
No, I don't think you can. I think you can't. Oh, no, I can't do it because I don't have a cooldown on that. Do these things heal over time like Zerg?
We
Enemy
are
in
linked.
range.
Reawaken. You pierce my mind. I hear you.
Unit production complete.
Dude, the controls are so
Production
smooth,
is
it's
now
actually
idle.
crazy.
Artifacts Our thoughts are one. Your motives are mysterious.
All right, hold on. We gotta. Movement speed
Rise
feels
my
pretty
spawn.
good. Oh, there's more I can do. Biomass
Unit
heals.
production complete. Production is now idle.
What? That seems so good.
Enemy sighted.
For the
Dude, I'm
protection.
so bad at new RTS games. It's like so hard for me to actually like
Detected.
All right.
get in the flow of
Shipping
things.
some valuable
Tech
scrap
building Z.
left.
Can you come back later? Sigh.
Scrap transfer initiated.
We are linked. Reawaken.
So what, Cats? What happens when I get these guys and they can fly? What does this do?
I'm a bit hungry.
Plant
the Protectorate.
has fully formed.
You got orders.
Unit production complete.
There's scouts.
Production is
Oh,
now
okay.
idle.
So it's like you upgraded a little baby
No
overlord.
problem. Right on it, boss. Infantry
I'll show you I played
reporting.
StarCraft before. Watch this.
You're the boss.
I'm gonna put him outside the spot on the map, man. You taking notes, cats?
You pierce my mind. Reawaken.
Enemy in range.
Reaver. And cast you the heal friendly. Oh, that seems really good. I think I'm gonna play this race when the game comes out.
Enemy sighted.
Our spawn is in danger.
Enemy in range.
Our spawn is in danger. We are linked. Our thoughts are one. Your motives are mysterious. Rise my spawn.
Oh, what are you guys doing up here?
Unit production complete. Production is now
Reawaken.
idle.
Our spawn is in danger. Your motives
Oh
are
God!
There's something
Yeah.
You pierce my mind. We are linked.
Wait one sec.
Oh my God!
I hear.
Oh, not like this.
Our thoughts are one.
I'm back.
There's something fusion ready.
Rise my spawn.
Oh, guys, it's not good.
I
Say that much.
For the Protectorate.
What do these guys do? Well, we'll never know.
Reawaken.
Oh, I'm losing to the eye. All right, cats.
Enemy sighted.
Ooh.
Enemy in range.
All right, GG. Let me try the other race. Oh, they do have some of the same units. Okay, so there is some overlap here. I think that's what I was confused about. Okay. Let's just give it a minute and get a base in here.
Building complete.
Let's go scout with this guy. Now, how does this work? Does he actually have to make it like an SCV? No, it's like a probe. He warps it in.
No problem.
And what does this do? Recalls units to the nearest operating tower. What? He just was one shot? No! What? No!
Building complete.
Got it. How many factions are going to be in the game?
Not enough.
Can you come back later?
Four, got it. Take it back, Danny Mustard Pants.
You got orders. Infantry reporting.
It's interesting.
I can build stuff.
Building complete.
Yeah. Alrighty. I can build stuff.
I have nowhere near enough here.
You got orders. You're the boss. The Protectorate.
Building complete.
Not enough supply. Control tower captured. Not enough supply.
Infantry reporting.
And this is like another hero then, right?
Building complete. Building complete.
Okay, okay. Whoa, that's crazy. What does this thing do?
Right, sir.
Got it. Okay. Okay, that makes more... All right. I thought I just learned that everybody could have more than one hero.
Atmospheric re-entry detected.
I'm busy.
There should be some valuable scrap to collect.
Right on it,
Commander.
boss.
Building complete.
Side. No problem.
Make the big
Not
tank.
enough supply.
Which one's that one?
Control tower
B?
captured.
Building complete.
I'm a bit hungry.
With this guy right here?
Can you come back later? I'm busy.
All right, 1 second.
Alrighty. No problem.
How do I build a big tank?
Not enough
All right.
supply.
Second. Can I just make supply here, I guess? All right, we'll make 2 depots. And let's make a... So this one can make a tank like you could a Thor, right?
Building complete.
What?
You're the boss.
Get over there, dude. This is the guy. I think he's bugged. I think he will only go to the
Orders.
gases.
Building complete.
Oh, it's building.
Gonna take a break, sir.
Unit production complete. Unit production is now idle. Production is now idle.
Huh. Terror tank. Are you going to have a race like where the SCVs have to build around the structure?
Juggernaut.
Oh, easy.
Moving the world. Shifting the land. Moving the world.
This is what Grant Games sounds like after 2 shots of whiskey.
Moving the world. Causing a quake.
Understood, Commander.
Annihilation their existence. Making in memory. Ready to rumble.
Right on it, boss.
Well, I'm not used to having more than one hero.
Juggernaut. Shit, yeah.
Japanese.
Commando waiting.
Causing
Recall. Get him out of there.
annihilation ready.
Did it not work?
Beckons.
Well. Oh, did I actually get it?
Annihilation ready.
Where is he?
Build stuff.
We've lost control of the tower.
I hear your pig.
Oh, he's already back over here.
Enemy sighted.
Got it, got it.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like these guys make that many buildings.
Our base is under attack.
These are like the Mongolians, right, in Age of Empires?
Our base is under
Ready
attack.
to rumble. Juggernaut here.
I'm a bit
Our
hungry.
base is under attack.
Sigh.
Building complete.
Oh, that's so cool. Upgrade tank for more weapons on it. Okay. Is that a Control G? I'm still not used to this. Or Control C? Control W?
Building complete.
Annihilation ready. Canyon.
Right.
Can you come back later?
We're on it, sir.
Sigh.
All right.
You got orders.
I'm going to be doing a Q&A now. We just got done playing ZeroSpace. It's really good. I'm very impressed. I'm not going to lie. I'm overwhelmed with how much there is to learn. Like I said before, I don't feel like RTS games just come naturally to me. I think I have to put in a lot of work to get a handle on them. But I'm very optimistic about the game. It looks really good. It is, although in some ways it looks incomplete, it definitely is not complete, especially when it comes to like sounds and everything like that. But obviously that can all come together over time. It's fun. There's a lot of different ideas going on. It really is a mix of like a lot of different RTSs and a lot of ideas in RTSs that I honestly kind of forget about because I'm mostly StarCraft focused. I've been a little bit Warcraft 3 focused in my life, but the Protectorate, the CatZ, can you help me? What are the names of the there's the Imperium that I just played, and what was the Zerg-like one? Grell, thank you. I'm very impressed with the Grell, very impressed with the Imperium. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Just start asking me questions, and I'm happy to answer. My mind is going 1,000 miles a minute here. Favorite units so far? That's a good question. I did really like the terror tank that I got to make at the end. I kind of like how mobile the Imperium feels. It does remind me a little bit of the Mongols in Age 4. I haven't played that much Age 4, but kind of mobile defenses, a lot of flexibility on movement. The fact that you can get multiple heroes is kind of cool. Like you can in Warcraft 3. You know, you don't always see 3 heroes, but you can do it. How do I feel about the maps and the maps possibilities? Is it more StarCraft 2 or more Brood War? I would say it's not StarCraft 1 in maps, but I think that I also don't know how to wall in. I'm not even trying to wall in, and I'm playing against computers that aren't rushing me. The expansions feel very much like StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1 in that they're pretty close. It seems like it's not that hard to expand, but again, I would need to see 2 people that are really good. It's probably very possible you can just shut somebody down pretty early on. There were destructible rocks, which there are in both StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2. It seems like you can get anywhere on the map pretty fast. The fact that there are these little areas where you gain experience and kill neutral units makes it honestly a little bit more like Warcraft 3. If I had to say anything, I'd say it feels a little bit more like Warcraft 3, but you can expand, if that makes sense. How do I like the XP tower objectives? What I think is good about it is it's an interesting take on leveling up that is a bit different from Warcraft 3 in that there's, at least on the maps that I played, I think there are only 3 towers you could level up at. You really had to fight over those. And it looks like in that case, each player could probably at least get one, which would cause some contention in the middle. And probably if you could get all 3, it would snowball the game, or at least cause some kind of a way to propel the game towards its natural conclusion. But what's different is that in Warcraft 3, you're trying to get... You're leveling up, but you're actually trying to get items. Like, a lot of people that play StarCraft don't appreciate that Warcraft 3 is really about receiving these randomized items and either figuring out what your opponent is going to do with their item or what you can do with your item to then kind of leverage your position in the game. Which I think makes for a slower game because you're not always incentivized to take a fight. You can kind of both. You'll see a lot of pro Warcraft matches, not always, but a lot of them where they don't have to engage each other for a little while. So I think this makes it pretty interesting. Are we getting another CatZ interview tonight? CatZ, can you hop on Discord? Is it possible? Let's begin our interview, man. Congratulations on the game. I can't imagine how long you've been sitting on this. And I got to say, I'm very impressed. The controls feel very, very clean, which is saying a lot because I feel like in almost all RTS games I play, even a little bit in Age of Empires, which I think is, we would all agree is a pretty good RTS game, the controls don't feel quite as responsive. This feels really good. It feels very close to StarCraft 2. How far along in this process are you? Like, we can already see, I think from people that watched my video or my playthrough, and then we see that the game is it's actually in fact a game. But how far along, or I guess what else is left for you guys to do?
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of cleanup and a lot of polish. So there's art passes, there's going to be UI passes, there's going to be some redesigns. Like, there's some stuff that we want to still simplify. Like, for example, some of the tooltips are a little bit long. Some of the abilities are overly complicated for my taste. So a lot of what we've done is kind of lay out the groundwork to where we have a functioning, playable, fun game. But then accessibility is pretty important. So we need to kind of chisel down to where we have a game that is also very easy to get into, also very easy to learn. We need tutorials. We need, we obviously have to work on co-op and campaign and all of those things. We have to implement a new race completely, which is the soul, and finish the ones that we have. We have to polish and rethink the order of talents and all of these systems. I mean, there's a ton to do, but yeah, like I think if we release the game today, it would be a very good RTS as is, right? And as far as like engine and technology that you were talking about, I think that I would say we right now we match StarCraft 2, I would say, and I think that we can improve on it a little bit.
That's really exciting to hear. Is how much of the graphics and the sounds are placeholders right now?
Oh, the sounds are like all placeholders, I think, for the great majority. Yeah.
Okay, so that I guess that's I don't know much about game design, but I guess that makes sense. You'd probably fill that in at the end, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Now the map looks pretty cool. How many maps are you guys thinking you might have on release?
So right now, I think we have like 12 playable maps on the developer branch. On the ones, like for the creators like yourself, we locked most of them because the one that we're showing is the one that's polished, the one that's kind of like ready to be seen, whereas the other ones don't have the the right art or doodads or kind of just general looks. But we're basically experimenting with starting at the baseline of RTS maps. So the one that you played is very much like a StarCraft 2 map, but there is one that is like an AoE 4 map or an AoE 2 map that's called Arabia, right? Like, and it's not like those are gonna be the maps that we're actually gonna necessarily launch with, but more the maps that we're testing the game on to see what's most fun and what kind of direction we should trend in with those.
Do you guys have like that's really interesting, by the way, to hear there's going to be an Age of Empires style map. That was one of the things I was wondering is like all these RTS games do have pretty different maps. Even StarCraft 1 maps are kind of different than StarCraft 2 maps in a lot of ways. Do you have any one mold you're interested in trying to lean towards?
Personally, so far, I like the AoE one because it's a little bit more open, and map design is restricted in different RTS depending on what needs to be accounted for, right? So in StarCraft 2, you need chokes because you need to wall off, or otherwise, like the balance is kind of off. So the map kind of puts some of the balance on its shoulders. Our game is not as restrictive. We don't have units like, say, the Sentry or the need for wall-offs. Like, I think we're, like, because we have, like, general buildings that are already kind of serve as anchors because they naturally have abilities like healing your units nearby and stuff like that. You don't really need, the wall-offs and to put a unit there and stuff like that. So we can be a lot more free with map design. I'm not sure where it's going to trend. Right now there's 3 XP towers, but some maps might have 2 and so on and so forth.
Are you interested in any maps that are procedurally generated?
We've talked about it. I don't think we're leaning that way, but we do have semi-random elements. There is like rich flux drops, so the flux, the second resource.
Yeah.
There are drops on the map that come at a certain time. I think something like 1 minute into the game they announce them, and then 1 minute later they drop. And those are points where you can contest for those kind of like equivalent of like gold minerals in StarCraft type thing. So those are semi-random. So you don't know where they're gonna spawn until the game tells you, hey, it's gonna be here. So then you have like a minute to adapt and to play around that. So.
Okay. I didn't get to interact that much with any air units, although that might just be because I'm so bad I can't tech up into them. Do you guys have a role for air play, like drops or any kind of air dogfights early on? And is there going to be a role in the late game with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So air units we find kind of problematic. I personally find them a little bit boring usually because they kind of just don't care about pathing at all, right? So they just kind of skip through everything that's that the not air units have to fight for and position for, and they can be oppressive. Like if you make them like strong with capital ships in StarCraft 2, right? Like everyone kind of hates dealing with mass carriers and battle cruisers, and they just end up kind of being attack movie type things and cause very binary outcomes. And so there are air units in our game, but we're aiming at mostly making them support units. So kind of more like arbiter type units than carrier type units.
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting point. There does seem to be this thing, especially in StarCraft 2, where we end up with these air fleets that just sort of don't move and can't be attacked into, and everything's stacked so heavily on top of each other. Now, what about water or any kind of third terrain, like we saw in Warcraft 2 and Age of Empires 4 and 2 as well? Like, is there going to be any maps with islands where there's a way to build crafts that can traverse that, or like submarines that would go underground in that?
No, definitely not. We're definitely not exploring anything like water as a terrain and ships for it. But terrain modifiers we've talked about, so that might be an option. Like, for example, a swamp could be something that slows units, but also I have an idea to try out that, we might end up using or not for an ice gun of sorts that makes it so that, like you kind of shoot a unit and it builds ice under it, and then the ice can cause pathing issues in the way that it would make units kind of slip through it or, lose some momentum as far as like speed is concerned and such. So there's definitely, like, Marv, the product owner, is also the lead engineer, and he's just so good that, you can get crazy ideas to him, and he's like, yeah, that's actually something that we can do. So we'll definitely fuck around with modifiers, that's for sure.
Is there going to be a map editor when this game comes out?
No, not unless we get a lot of funding. So right now, Kickstarter is ending, right? And that helps us to obviously work on the game for longer, but it also helps us to potentially look for investors and publishers and such, right? So there is some case scenario where we get a lot of funding from publishers, which have shown a lot of interest in the game so far. But in the highest case, then yeah, like, it's a dream to add something like a game editor, but right now it's not in the cards as it stands.
Yeah, a game editor is really that's quite an undertaking to make. I got a question in chat. Is there a high ground advantage, hit or miss, or how does that function in the game?
Not right now. There isn't. But yeah, that type of thing is, we have 2 years to launch. So if you think there should be, yeah, let us know.
Is this going to be a game that do people buy it and then they have it forever and they get everything with it? Or is it a game that's going to be free, that's going to have microtransactions that are like, you get to use these mercenaries or these heroes? Or is it going to be free, like in that you can play the entire game, but there's going to be lots of cosmetics and microtransactions like that? I guess what I'm asking is what exactly is the release business model?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's kind of unclear to us, right? Like, for sure, we're offering the game through Kickstarter, so people are buying the game at a discount, and that means that it is, in some sense, a box product to some degree. But the specs are not completely defined yet. We've gotten a lot of feedback from Kickstarter backers and just general people that they would love for the game to be free to play for multiplayer, and that's a consideration, right? It's not my call to make, obviously. It's what I would love to have, but if not that, then maybe some partial free to play would be nice for multiplayer, because it would be sick if the game spreads, and then we'll definitely look to also sustain via skins and DLCs and such, because we want to upkeep the game over time as well, right? Like, it's big for us to be able to actively change the game and say the question on whether you can miss or not on high ground. Well, maybe there's no mischance this year, but maybe there's a mischance next year, and that's the kind of thing that we can actively think about and try and redesign and see how people like it. And for that, we need obviously continued funding. So there will definitely be microtransactions.
Where did you guys get the name ZeroSpace from?
ZeroSpace is a concept in the lore that's kind of difficult to explain.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I could try a little bit, but it actually maybe not. Maybe I don't want to botch it, but it is okay. It's a space outside. Nick, you're a philosopher, man. It's you know, like how space time is. I don't know if this if this is where we should go. It's a little deep, but you know you know how space time is Einstein's idea, right? But there is kind of like an idea that space-time exists all at once, right? It's called the block universe in like scientific terms, I guess, right? So in the block universe, space and time are kind of like how Einstein thought about them, I guess, intertwined, and there's everything there all at once. ZeroSpace would be kind of like outside of that block universe, if you will. That's the short explanation.
Okay, got it, man. Thank you. I wasn't ready for that explanation. That was all right.
You asked.
Actually, it was chat that was asking. I was like, "Oh, that's an easy question I can throw his way," and then it was like, "All right, get ready." So, someone wants to ask in the chat, CatZ, about the system requirements. Reading about. Oh, hold on, my chat's moving too fast. Hold on a sec. Reading about how. About them seems like you must have at least a 700 to 800 euro PC in order to play minimum specs. How come this game does not need? I guess the question is about the requirements. Is this going to be demanding?
Yeah.
Is this going to run on any PC?
Well, we're optimizing still, right? Like it's pre-alpha, so the game is very not optimized for audience. So I think the specs are likely to go down a little bit, but it's also a game that's gonna release in 2 years. So whatever the specs are today will probably be fairly low in 2 years. So,
do you guys know what languages you might be putting the game in, or is this going to come out just in English?
I think we have a bunch of languages, but I don't have the list handy.
And with regions you're going to focus on. I mean, one thing that's been interesting for me, I've been casting Valorant, with my work in StarCraft 2. Just it's becoming a little bit less and less because there just isn't as much, like I guess AAA events or whatever you want to call them, and GSL has shrunk in size. So I've been doing some Valorant, and one of the things I've been shocked by is like it's big in all these countries that I guess people of our age group didn't really think of when we thought of esports or competitive play. Places like Vietnam and Indonesia.
Cool.
Places in the Middle East, this is picking up, and in Latin America, and I guess there's going to be opportunities for you guys there as well. Do you have any regions you're focusing on more than others?
I think that it's difficult to say right now because everything that we've shown is in English, so we only get excitement back from English-speaking people, basically, right? But I think as we put more languages in and whatnot, there will be organic growth in certain regions, and that'll be easier to focus on that. So Latin America is a huge market that's like pretty accessible, I think, like big gaming market. I would think that hopefully they're excited for it when the time comes, but barely any people say like, oh, this game's awesome in Spanish today, because it's only being in English.
I know you guys marketed this. As far as the campaign goes, you talked about Mass Effect a lot. Have you guys talked to Mass Effect or any major IPs about like partnering with them?
And that I wouldn't know, but I don't think we've talked to Mass Effect.
Okay. I was just curious. Like, sometimes they'll design a game where like they've got an idea in mind, and if they can get like a major IP, they can kind of like put on top of it. That's something that they'll do. But
I see.
So with the campaign is, and maybe this is on the Kickstarter. I'm sorry, I'm such like a multiplayer competitive player guy. I might be asking a question that's just right on your website. But is this going to be episodic, or is it going to be like a big long campaign that's released once and done?
There's going to be DLCs for sure. Like, I think we're going to start planning on DLCs before release, even, like, for content. But yeah, the campaign itself and the specs for how much cinematics you'll get out of and how much playtime you'll get out of it should be on the Kickstarter.
Okay, cool.
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's like 30 hours of play and 3 hours of cinematics at a minimum, something like that.
So let's talk about the mercenaries for a second here. That was one thing in the game I had a hard time wrapping my head around. I guess part of my issue is I'm just like transplanting whatever software my brain's running on from StarCraft 2 and 1 and trying to kind of go through the motions in your game. But it seems like there's a function with all three races that I played where you have something that over time you can accumulate mercenaries or some free unit set that doesn't require the kind of macro mechanic that you need with the normal production that you have when the game starts out.
Yeah. So the mercenaries are kind of like augmenting factions that have 5 units each. And they will have their own kind of strengths and utility and identity. So basically, if you think you want to play a certain style, you can pick a mercenary that suits it, or a mercenary that has like some synergies with your faction, or even work a strategy around certain mercenaries. They all have a cost, but they make instantly. So they're really good. Like, for example, in the game that you lost, when I said don't lose to the AI, you could have still won because you could have made mercenaries. And you could have like upgraded your natural base and stuff like that. So like the defensive capacity in the game is pretty good, and mercenaries help with that. So they help with anti-snowball, they help with player expression, and yeah, they can make pretty cool combos and strategies. They also add as like the talents, how you had like 3 rows of talents to choose from.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those is from the mercenaries as well, and one of the heroes will also available to you is also from the mercenaries. They have a lot of utility.
So it looks like you can pre-select types of mercenaries. Is that number of mercenaries going to be expanded? Because it almost feels like when I look at it, I get a feeling like I'm playing a StarCraft game, but then I'm also picking, a hero, kind of like it's League of Legends or Dota at the start, and then I'm also picking like a set of units. But it does feel like there's kind of a bunch of really common competitive games that are getting conjoined here.
For sure, we've drawn inspiration from a lot of different games and integrated them into what we think is a functioning system that's pretty unique in RTS. But yeah, I mean, for sure, we're all about player expression, right? So the mercenaries and your faction and the heroes offer so many permutations of possible combinations that's kind of what we want, is for each player to have their own kind of like style and play the ways that they want to play. The talents also offer you that in real time within the game. So you have choices to be made before getting into the game to customize, and then you have choices to customize and to strategize in the game via talents and mutually exclusive upgrades for each unit as well.
Would you guys ever consider expanding the number of heroes or the number of units? Maybe not right when the game's out, but the number of mercenaries and the number of heroes. Is that something that you're considering, or is it going to be kind of like this is exactly what you get?
Well, there's a lot of considerations there actually. Like this is an interesting question, because we have a meeting later today where we're gonna talk exactly about like some of these systems and how we are going to implement them, because we said we're going to have 4 main factions and 6 mercenaries, and we think that that's pretty feasible for us to balance and to design around. But we also have a 7th mercenary faction that we're announcing because we hit a Kickstarter goal, right? And we have kind of art and other factions that we have either scrapped or not finished that could also turn into mercenaries. So we could have more. The question is whether we want them in rotation, or if we, for example, have them in a yearly rotation where maybe you have 4 static mercenary factions and 3 that rotate out for another set of mercenary factions, and the same could be true for heroes and so on. So it's kind of undecided to some degree, but yeah, 4 main factions, 6 mercenary factions, and I think 12 heroes, if not 14, is the baseline.
In a lot of these games that get pretty developed, they have a pick ban phase. I mean, we have it even for StarCraft. I think people even forget that we have it for that. But I mean, there's also, you could have a pick ban in theory for your opponent's heroes or the mercenaries that they could pick from. Is that anything you're considering as well?
Yeah, for sure. So we do have a drafting phase in the works. Obviously, it would be one of the last things that we implement because we don't really have a player base right now to do the drafting phase. But yeah, so as far as bans, that is a topic of discussion as well, because players like to learn like kind of like one thing at a time, right? So you don't really want to like allow for too many bans, because if someone really likes a certain faction or a certain mercenary and they're good at it and they've been working on it and they're taken away, it can be pretty daunting, especially with the amount of information that we already have in the game. So the drafting system is gonna be, for the time being, the proposition is for it to be bandless, which means you would start by choosing your main faction. Then you and your opponent would both propose 2 mercenary factions. So I would say I'm gonna pick either this one or this one. Your opponent sees both of them, and then you pick after both are revealed, right? So there's some mind games and some information to intake as far as adapting before the game goes on, and the same can be true for heroes.
This has been worked on for 3 years, right? Is that correct?
That's semi-correct. Yeah, it's technically been 3 years since we started development, but the first year was basically just Marv, for the most part, who is again the main product owner and driver. Like, he's also our MVP as far as working. He's our lead engineer, and he worked on the engine for 1 year by himself, basically, and then after 1 year, he started bringing in people like Grant and myself and Pig. And
so this must have happened in the middle of the pandemic. Were you guys all working remotely?
Yes. Yeah, everyone's pretty much remote.
And you guys are all still remote then, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wow.
Which is, yeah. That's part of the, I think that's part of the reason that we've been able to do something as good as we have, is because we have no studio costs.
Right, there's no overhead. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying. Chat. Let me just see if there's any questions in the chat here. I like asking for questions, then I ignore them, man. That's how I make them want me more. All right. So it says, will there be a possibility for custom lobbies where you can have systems with or without, or like maybe turn off heroes or the game without experience or towers or anything like that?
I don't see why. I mean, that sounds like a good idea. So you should post it in our Discord or our Reddit, and then we'll discuss it for sure. It sounds interesting enough that we should. We definitely want to have modes that are better at onboarding people. Like, we think that the game is more accessible than StarCraft 2 as far as like getting into the game and starting to play it, and like not dying right away to your first opponent. But we definitely need better tutorials and definitely want like some introductory type systems. Like in Dota, for example, there's a mode where you get a lot of money right away, so you kind of skip past the technical parts of the laning phase, right? And there's stuff like that in most major games, so we'll definitely look at that. As far as like customizing, like no heroes or no mercenaries, I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't discuss it at least.
Here's a question: what mistakes did other RTS games make? What mistakes did other RTS make that you are avoiding for ZeroSpace?
I think we're really strong and really good at accessibility, right? Like, our macro is not super complicated. There's a queue system and stuff like that where, like, yeah, you have to learn some new rules if you come from a different RTS, but in a few games, we're pretty confident that it'll be a lot easier to kind of start playing right off the bat, which I think is the biggest RTS pitfall, is the games are just way too hard to get into. Our skill ceiling is still gigantic, but through other avenues. Another thing is we also have a lot of, I think, innovative systems that are well designed and well adapted for RTS, whereas I think most games that try to emulate Blizzard style RTS just kind of do, kind of like the same formula. So it's difficult, I think, to expand the genre if you're not looking at other avenues than what has been already done. And I think we're very creative and a very strong team at that. What else is there that other RTS pitfalls is basically the question, right? What do you think, Nick? What do you think are some? I mean, Snowball
Biggest
is
pitfalls?
an RTS pitfall.
I mean, the biggest pitfall is people don't make RTS games as much as they should. I feel like people are like, we can make
Like,
a MOBA or whatever
I
other
would say,
trendy game there
yeah.
is.
The obvious one is our engine, right? Like our engine
Yeah.
is actually as good or potentially better than StarCraft 2 on launch, and that's kind of like the first hurdle that most RTS just.
I think that's correct.
There's only
I think
StarCraft 2.
the biggest issue usually with an RTS game is the moment that you sit down and click around in it.
Yeah.
It's like you just immediately know like you can't do the same things you can do in StarCraft 2 as an example. I mean, it's funny, Brood War has a very buggy engine, but it's strangely actually better than most of the engines that are out.
Yes.
Still, even though the units won't always go the right way, there's like ways to kind of impose your will on the units to make them do stuff. But yeah, I mean, that was my biggest takeaway when I sat down is I was immediately actually playing a game where I could micro things away and take fights like that. Okay, well, CatZ, dude, thank you so much for the interview. I know it's not easy to answer these questions, and I know your game is, it's going to be a little bit of time before it's out. So, I mean, first of all, congratulations on what you guys have done already. I know I'm not alone in saying that I'm very excited for this game. I can't wait to play it and stream it and cast it. And
Hells yeah.
I'm sorry, the Kickstarter ends tomorrow?
I think in a few hours, like 15
a few hours. Okay,
I'm
so
not sure. I have to.
Is there any way people can support you guys that are going to see this on my YouTube, which is going to be after the Kickstarter is done? Or I guess just what?
Yes, I mean,
wishlist your game
on
on
sure.
Steam and
That
stuff.
would be great. Join our Discord as well. Yeah, discord.gg/ZeroSpace for all laptops.
Okay, we can provide those links in the YouTube description. CatZ, I'm going to let you go, buddy. You take care, okay?
You too. Wait, Nick.
Yes. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You had me laughing so hard. Was it the terror tank that is grand after
2 shots of whiskey?
Shots of whiskey.
Yeah.
All right.
And then what was the other unit? I said there was another unit. Maybe you weren't there for this. One of the heroes. I said it sounds like Grant right when he gets out of bed in the morning.
Right. And the bugs are from where? From
oh, this is what we imagine LZ Gamer's family sounds like. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed that, man.
I really enjoyed the stream, Nick. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry my computer was a bit of a potato. My stream crashed and my camera wasn't working. I don't know why that is. I don't have the cleanest stream setup, but hopefully next time I get to stream it, it'll be a little bit smoother. Thank you so much for the interview, CatZ. And I'm going to do a quick, I'm going to hang up on you and do a quick outro here for my YouTube.
Sounds good, Nick. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support ZeroSpace, go sign up for them on Steam on your wish list. Join their Discord. I will have links in the description below for that. Also, check out my merch shop. That won't support them. That'll support me. But we have cool merch at tastelessthreads.com. T-shirts, hats, some of it gaming styled, some of it RTS styled, some of it Korean styled. I think you'll find something that you would enjoy seeing on there. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube and join me on my Twitch stream where I got to stream ZeroSpace, got to interview CatZ, and I do other casts and other StarCraft streams as well. Have a good day. Bye-bye.